Once upon a time in a cozy, old-fashioned village, there lived an old man and an old woman who decided to bake a special treat. They carefully mixed the dough, adding just the right amount of spices, and shaped it into a delightful little gingerbread man. With each detail, they grew more excited. After decorating him with colorful icing and candies, they placed him into the oven with great anticipation, imagining how delicious he would be. As the enticing aroma of fresh gingerbread filled the kitchen, they couldn't wait for their creation to be ready. To their amazement, as soon as they opened the oven door, the gingerbread man sprang to life. With a twinkle in his eye and a mischievous grin, he hopped right off the baking tray and began to explore the kitchen. The old man and old woman watched in utter disbelief as their creation came to life. The gingerbread man, full of energy and curiosity, danced around the kitchen, his icing glistening in the warm light. He knocked over a rolling pin, skipped past the flour canister, and nearly toppled a jar of sugar. His playful antics brought both wonder and worry to the old couple. Quick as a flash, the gingerbread man dashed through the doorway and out into the village. The old man and old woman, though spry for their age, couldn't keep up with his swift little legs. He ran through the cobblestone streets, gleefully shouting, "Catch me if you can!" The villagers paused in their daily activities, puzzled by the sight of a runaway cookie. Children laughed and pointed, while adults rubbed their eyes in disbelief. The gingerbread man's laughter echoed through the streets, his footsteps light and quick as he dodged between market stalls and past the town well. As he raced past the meadows, the gingerbread man encountered a curious cow grazing peacefully. "Moo! You look tasty!" exclaimed the cow, her eyes widening with interest. The gingerbread man taunted her, saying, "I've run away from the old woman and man, and I can run away from you too." Before the cow could react, he took off with a burst of speed. The cow tried to follow, but her heavy steps could not match his nimble dash. She watched bemused as the gingerbread man disappeared into the distance, his colorful decorations twinkling like stars in the morning sun. Next, the gingerbread man encountered a galloping horse in the lush meadows. The horse, intrigued by the sight of the running cookie, neighed loudly. "Stop, little man! I want to taste you!" But the gingerbread man only laughed and ran even faster, leaving the horse bewildered and far behind. The horse, despite his powerful legs and graceful stride, found himself outpaced by the swift gingerbread man. He marveled at the cookie's speed and agility, shaking his mane in disbelief as the gingerbread man's taunting voice faded into the breeze. Not far behind, a playful pig noticed the commotion and joined the chase. "Wait for me!" squealed the pig, eager to join in the fun. Despite his best efforts, the pig couldn't match the gingerbread man's speed. The pig's short legs and plump body were no match for the nimble cookie. He huffed and puffed, his curly tail bouncing with each step. But the gingerbread man always seemed just out of reach. The pig's determination only made the gingerbread man laugh harder, his spirit unflagging as he continued to evade his pursuers. As he continued running, the gingerbread man taunted his pursuers. "Run! Run as fast as you can! You can't catch me! I'm the gingerbread man!" His confident laughter echoed through the countryside, and he felt invincible. The chorus of frustrated animals only fueled his sense of triumph. He danced and twirled, his icing gleaming in the sunlight, while the cow, horse, and pig trailed behind, each more determined than the last to catch the elusive treat. Just as the gingerbread man thought he had outsmarted everyone, a cunning fox appeared by the riverbank. With a sly smile, the fox watched the scene unfold, plotting his next move. The fox's eyes gleamed with intelligence as he assessed the situation. He remained still, his sharp mind working quickly to devise a plan to capture the gingerbread man. Unlike the other animals, the fox knew that patience and strategy would be his key to success. Seeing the gingerbread man hesitate at the edge of the river, the fox approached with a friendly demeanor. "Need some help crossing the river?" the fox offered, his voice smooth and reassuring. "Hop on my back, and I promise I won't eat you." Desperate to escape his pursuers and weary from his long run, the gingerbread man agreed, hoping the fox could be trusted. He climbed onto the fox's back, feeling a mixture of relief and trepidation. The fox's fur was soft and warm, and for a moment, the gingerbread man felt safe. With a cautious climb, the gingerbread man settled onto the fox's back. The fox began to swim gracefully across the river, his movements smooth and controlled. For a moment, the gingerbread man felt a sense of relief, believing he might actually get away. The water was cool and refreshing, and the gentle rocking of the fox's swimming soothed his tired limbs. He closed his eyes briefly, dreaming of a peaceful escape. As they reached the middle of the river, the fox instructed the gingerbread man to move to his head to avoid getting wet. The gingerbread man obeyed, still wary but trusting the fox's guidance. The water swirled gently around them, and the river seemed peaceful. The gingerbread man, perched atop the fox's head, began to relax slightly, thinking that perhaps he had found a true ally in the clever fox. The journey continued, and the fox cunningly suggested another shift. "Climb onto my nose to stay dry," he said, his voice calm and persuasive. The gingerbread man, now at the fox's nose, started to feel uneasy but saw no better option. He complied, his heart pounding as he balanced delicately on the fox's snout. The proximity to the water made him nervous, but the fox's steady swimming kept him afloat. As they approached the far riverbank, the gingerbread man tried to relax but couldn't shake off the feeling of vulnerability. Perched on the fox's nose, he hoped this would soon be over, dreaming of the safety of solid ground. The shore was tantalizingly close, and the gingerbread man could almost taste freedom. He focused on the approaching land, willing the journey to end. With a sinister grin, the fox revealed his true intentions. "Oh, little cookie," the fox whispered, "you're just too tempting to resist." The gingerbread man's heart raced as he realized the fox's deception. Panic surged through him as he understood that his trust had been misplaced. The fox's eyes gleamed with a predatory hunger, and the gingerbread man knew he was in grave danger. In a swift motion, the fox snapped his jaws and caught the gingerbread man in his mouth. The gingerbread man struggled fiercely, but the fox's grip was unyielding and strong. Despite his best efforts, he couldn't break free. The sharp teeth pressed into his dough, and the reality of his fate began to sink in. The fox's cunning had been his downfall, and there was no escaping the predator's grasp. On the other side of the river, the cow, horse, and pig arrived just in time to witness the climax. They watched in shock and regret as the cunning fox devoured the gingerbread man, realizing they had been outsmarted. The scene left them speechless, their earlier determination replaced by a sense of helplessness. They had chased the gingerbread man with all their might, only to see him fall prey to the fox's deceit. With a satisfied lick of his lips, the fox basked in his cleverness. He had tricked everyone and savored the victory, proud of his deceptive skills. The taste of the gingerbread man was a sweet reward, and the fox felt triumphant. He looked at the bewildered animals with a smug expression, knowing that he had outwitted them all. The animals stood in silent reflection, regretting their inability to catch the gingerbread man themselves. They had learned a harsh lesson about trust and cunning, feeling a mixture of sorrow and wisdom. The cow, horse, and pig exchanged glances, each lost in their thoughts. They realized that sometimes the cleverest of minds can be the most dangerous. Back in the village, the old man and woman decided to try again. They carefully prepared another batch of dough, hoping this new creation would stay put and bring joy to their home. The kitchen was once again filled with the comforting aroma of gingerbread, and they worked with renewed hope. As they shaped and decorated the new gingerbread man, they whispered a promise, urging the new cookie to enjoy the sweet life and stay by their side. With renewed hope, they shaped and baked a new gingerbread man, decorating him with even more care. This time, they whispered a promise, urging the new cookie to enjoy the sweet life and stay by their side. The new gingerbread man, fresh out of the oven, looked around with wide eyes, ready to embrace his new life. The old man and woman watched with a mixture of love and caution, determined to keep their new creation safe. And so, the tale of the gingerbread man reminds us all. Be cautious of those who offer help too eagerly, and always think twice before trusting strangers. In this world, not everyone has sweet intentions, and wisdom often comes through experience. The story of the gingerbread man became a cherished tale in the village, passed down from generation to generation.